She was beautiful, simply angelic. In my line of work, I see lots of different people in and out the door. Everybody comes here. Politicians of congressional importance, old ladies in sundresses, fashionable teenagers in the prime of their life, middle-aged men with thinning gray hair and full beards, even young children not yet old enough to ride bicycles. All of them have come here, but she was the first to hold my glance so strongly. She was a young thing, maybe 25 or 26 at the oldest. Her silky black dress clung to her like a serpent wrapped around a vine. Her auburn tresses were the color of maple leaves on the last stretch of fall. She was a small girl, but held more beauty than the tallest of redwoods and the highest of peaks of the Rockies. At first I could not capture the color of her eyes, for she was surrounded by the company of what I assumed to be friends and relatives. But I knew, whatever shade her soul windows were, they had to be the most vibrant, radiant, and awe-inspiring hue of whatever color happened to grace them. She was beautiful, simply angelic. Now, I've never claimed to be the most courageous man, but I knew that if I did not master the courage to approach her, I would regret it forever. Sheepishly, I waited until her companions withdrew into some corner, and she was alone. I quietly approached her with my nerves in a frenzy and my stomach at the mercy of the sailors trying to gather the last remnants of a mast. My blood pumped as swift as I now closed into the peering in her general direction. With an adjustment, I noticed for the first time her eyes. Green they were. Two emeralds sparkling up at me with the misty air of City of Oz and the ferocity of the tropic leaves of the Caribbean. She was beautiful. Simply angelic. Our gazes met, and now was the first time to act. It all happened so spontaneously, though. I barely had made an introduction before we were off in search of a room to be alone together in. But I knew my way around this place, and I knew the perfect spot. My hands opened the wide steel doors for her, and we hastily went inside. The room was warm, and fire burned silently, crackling in the background. Light reflected marvelously in the auburn of her hair and the green of her eyes. A halo rimmed around her shadow, and the crimson red brought alive her features in ways I had yet not seen. She was beautiful, simply angelic. It was a light to make love under. Heavenly glow illuminated the room as we embraced near the fire. Her black dress, which had once gripped her at snug, slipped off effortlessly at my touch, her smooth, pale flesh ascending my nakedness with the feeling of 1,000 soldier spirits standing at attention upon the surface of my skin. I penetrated every core of her being and thrusted with the might of my very soul. The love we made echoed in the room with the rhythm of which the licking of the flames played its theme. The moans I perceived were indistinguishable, but this was the feeling of true love. The divine trinity in all of golden shores in heaven singing. I could feel it coming, the climax of the most hottest of moments. At my orgasm's peak and at the last passionate thrust, I plunged my lover into the furnace. She was beautiful, simply angelic. As my eyes gazed widely upon her, and the sound of her smooth flesh being whipped by the prayer muffled my ears, I was like a man. I felt the gods of old descending upon Mount Olympus in a royal and divine glory. My hands shaking, my body glistening with burning sweat, I watched my love turn to ash. I quickly found my clothes and hurriedly put them on. I gave her garments to the fire as well, as I left the crematorium. I felt slight pain in my chest. Was this what heartbreak felt like? I had never known. I looked up and noticed the sun had begun to settle in the west. It was time to go home. Work starts early in the morning at the funeral home. I got into my car, turned on the engine, and shut my eyes for a few moments. She was still there, within my vision. She was beautiful, simply angelic. First she was an angel in heaven, and her vessel was ripe for the taking. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Alright, stay savvy.